You are not defined by your circumstances, by the obstacles that have stood in your way, or by the weight of past failures. You are defined by the choices you make today, by the actions you take in the present, and by your commitment to rise every time you fall. Emotional strength is not a trait you're born with. It's a muscle you build through consistent effort. Each habit you embrace is a brick in the foundation of a more resilient you. The moment you decide to stop waiting for change and begin creating it is the moment your transformation begins. It's not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about deciding to be strong in the here and now in spite of everything. The path to emotional strength is a journey of relentless self-investment. It's about showing up for yourself even on the days when you don't feel like it. When life gets overwhelming, when the world around you seems to be collapsing, it's in those moments that your true power shines brightest. The strength you need is already within you. It's waiting for you to claim it, to step into your power and own it. Every small decision you make to prioritize your emotional well-being, to practice resilience, to embrace the discomfort of growth, it adds up. Over time, these decisions become part of your identity, and your emotional strength becomes unshakable. The journey won't always be smooth. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when your confidence is shaken, and your resolve is tested. But these moments aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you're pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. You don't build emotional strength by avoiding discomfort. You build it by leaning into it, by staying grounded even when life is throwing its worst at you. Every challenge, every difficult emotion, every setback is a chance to prove to yourself how strong you really are. In the face of adversity, it's easy to feel small, to let fear and doubt take over. But remember, you are not your fears. You are not the voice of doubt inside your head. You are not the past mistakes that haunt you. You are the warrior who rises, the person who continues to fight, even when the odds are stacked against you. Strength comes not from the absence of fear, but from taking action despite it. It's in those moments of fear that you prove to yourself just how powerful you really are. Every time you choose to rise above your emotions instead of being controlled by them, you create a new layer of strength. It's not about being perfect. It's about having the courage to be real, to feel deeply, and to act with intention. Every time you choose to take responsibility for your life, every time you step up to face your challenges head on, you are becoming the strongest version of yourself. You are building a foundation of emotional resilience that nothing can break. The world is full of uncertainty. People will let you down. Things won't always go your way, but your emotional strength will never fail you. It's the one thing no one can take away. It's the one thing that will always carry you forward, even when everything else seems to be falling apart. Strength is not just about surviving the storm, it's about thriving in the middle of it. It's about keeping your inner peace intact, even when the world around you is chaotic. You've faced hardships before, and you're still here. You've survived your worst days, and you've learned. Now, you're stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever. You don't need to be afraid of what comes next because you are ready. Ready to face whatever challenges arise with confidence and grace. Ready to stand firm in your power and continue moving forward. The strength you need is already inside you. It always has been. You just need to trust it, lean into it, and know that no matter what happens, you are enough. And in your willingness to embrace that strength, you will find the courage to keep moving, to keep growing, and to continue becoming the person you are meant to be. Every habit you implement, every action you take, every moment you choose to rise above your circumstances, this is how you shape your emotional power. This is how you turn weakness into strength, fear into courage, and uncertainty into unstoppable confidence. This is your path, your journey, and you have everything you need to succeed. Believe in your strength, take action, and watch as you transform into the powerful, emotionally unstoppable person you were always meant to be. You have within you the power to shape your reality, to carve out a life that aligns with the strength and resilience you are building. Every time you choose to focus on the things that matter, to hold yourself accountable, to act with intention, you move closer to the person you are destined to become. It's easy to get lost in distractions, to let the noise of the world drown out your inner voice, but emotionally, strong people learn to filter out the unnecessary. They know that their energy is precious and they guard it fiercely. They know that by prioritizing what truly matters, self-growth, peace, and purpose, they cultivate the power to face whatever life throws their way. The world is full of distractions, but when you are emotionally strong, you learn how to say no. You don't waste time on things that don't align with your vision. You stop chasing external validation because you realize that the only approval you need is your own. You stop seeking the approval of others because you know that your worth isn't up for negotiation. This self-assurance is the result of habit, of learning to trust yourself deeply and unwaveringly. You become the person who leads with clarity, not confusion. Your decisions are grounded in your values, not in the fear of what others might think. You begin to understand that the only person who can truly define you is you. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to please everyone, to live up to expectations that don't serve you, but emotional strength comes when you realize that your true power lies in the ability to be yourself, unapologetically. The opinions of others lose their weight when you stop seeking approval. You stop living in fear of judgment. Instead, you begin to trust your inner compass, knowing that your path is yours alone to walk, and with that trust comes an undeniable peace. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You are the creator of your experience. Being emotionally strong means taking full ownership of your life. You stop blaming circumstances for your unhappiness, and instead you take responsibility for your actions, thoughts, and feelings. You realize that the power to change, to grow, and to become the person you dream of is entirely within your hands. Emotional strength doesn't mean that life becomes perfect. It means that you can weather any storm because you've already built the internal resources to handle it. You've faced the darkness within yourself and you've come out the other side stronger. The more you practice emotional strength, the more you realize that it is not about never feeling weak or vulnerable. It's about learning how to face those moments, how to move through them without letting them define you. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is the courage to be real. It's the courage to feel deeply, to be honest with yourself, and to embrace the full range of human emotions. When you stop pretending that everything is perfect, you free yourself from the chains of comparison and unrealistic expectations. You give yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to grow from them. This is where your true strength lies. Every setback, every disappointment, every challenge is an opportunity to deepen your emotional strength. It's not the easy days that define you, it's the hard ones. It's the days when you are exhausted, when you feel like quitting, when it seems easier to give up than to keep going. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when you build your emotional resilience, when you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you ever thought possible. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You've survived every hardship you've faced so far, and you'll survive whatever comes next. Remember, growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you choose to act even when fear is whispering in your ear. Emotional strength is not built by avoiding the hard things. It's built by confronting them head on, by choosing courage over fear, action over hesitation. Each time you choose to push past your limits, you expand your capacity for resilience. You expand your ability to face anything that comes your way and to keep moving forward. The person you are becoming is capable of handling anything. The strength you are building is unshakable. You are not a product of your circumstances, you are the result of your decisions. Every step you take today, every habit you implement, every choice you make to rise above the challenges will determine the future version of yourself. And that version will be unrecognizable. A person who walks through the world with confidence, with calm, with unshakable peace, and with a strength that is unmatched. Embrace the journey. Keep moving forward. Your emotional strength is your greatest asset, and it will carry you further than you ever thought possible. What would your life look like if you could face every challenge, every setback, and every obstacle with unshakable confidence? What if you could stop letting fear, doubt, or past mistakes hold you back and instead Step into each day knowing that you have the strength to handle anything that comes your way. Imagine the freedom that comes with emotional strength, the power to choose how you respond to life's ups and downs, and the peace that comes with knowing you're in control no matter what happens. Emotional strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a muscle that grows stronger with practice. But how do you build it? Where do you start? The truth is, it starts with the small decisions you make every day. It starts with the way you choose to think, how you react to challenges, and how you show up for yourself when life gets tough. When you're emotionally strong, you're not immune to difficulty. You'll still face pain, disappointment, and fear, but you will no longer let those things control you. Instead, you will face them with courage, resilience, and the knowledge that you have everything you need to overcome them. You will develop the ability to move through the storm, not just survive it, but actually grow because of it. You might be wondering if it's really possible to develop that kind of strength. Maybe you've faced things in your life that have left you feeling broken, uncertain, or lost. You may have moments where you feel like you're not enough, or that you're failing to live up to your potential. But what if I told you that those feelings don't define you? What if I told you that you have the power to change your emotional landscape no matter where you've been or what you've been through? Right now, you might feel overwhelmed, but the truth is, emotional strength is about progress, not perfection. It's about being brave enough to keep moving forward, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, no matter how hard it gets. By the end of this journey, you'll understand that emotional strength isn't about being immune to life's hardships. It's about being able to rise every time you fall. It's about learning to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to the person you are becoming. Emotional strength means you have the courage to feel, the power to heal, and the wisdom to know that no matter what happens, you will always find a way to move forward. If you choose to stay with me through this journey, you'll discover 10 powerful habits that will help you transform your emotional state. You'll learn how to turn moments of doubt into opportunities for growth. You'll develop habits that will make you stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to face life's challenges. And when you emerge from this transformation, you'll be unrecognizable. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you've finally stepped into your full power. This journey isn't about avoiding pain or discomfort. It's about learning how to face those moments head on and with strength, turn them into the fuel that propels you forward. You are capable of more than you think. Stay with me and let's unlock the emotional strength you were always meant to have. The first step toward emotional strength begins in the quiet moments, those brief, often overlooked instances where you have the choice to either react or respond. It's in these moments that your true power lies, where your habits begin to take root. Emotional strength doesn't come from waiting for life to hand you a perfect situation or a smooth path. It comes from learning to respond with calm, clarity, and intention, even when the world around you is chaotic. Every day you are faced with countless emotions, frustration, anger, fear, sadness. The question is not whether you will feel them, because you will. The question is, how will you handle them? Will you let these emotions dictate your actions, or will you take control and choose to face them with strength? Emotional strength is built not by avoiding difficult feelings, but by learning to process them and respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. When you begin to acknowledge and understand your emotions without judgment, something incredible happens. You stop being a prisoner to them. Instead of letting fear control your decisions, you recognize it as a signal, not a barrier. Instead of letting frustration dictate your actions, you choose to channel that energy into something productive. The power isn't in the feeling itself, it's in your ability to manage it. And the more you practice this, the stronger you become. This habit of emotional awareness is the foundation of all emotional strength. It requires you to be fully present with yourself, to pause and check in with how you're truly feeling, without rushing to fix it, push it aside, or numb it. You don't need to deny your emotions to be strong. In fact, true emotional strength comes from allowing yourself to feel deeply, while also choosing not to let those feelings control your actions. This awareness creates space between stimulus and response, giving you the power to choose how you show up in the world. Every time you take the time to sit with your emotions without judgment or shame, you gain more control over them. You learn that emotions, while powerful, do not define you. They are simply part of the human experience, but your reactions to those emotions are what truly shape your character. Emotional strength is about being aware of what's happening inside you and responding with wisdom rather than impulsivity. It's about learning to recognize the power you have to choose your responses, even in the face of overwhelming emotion. As you begin to build this habit of emotional awareness, something shifts within you. You start to notice patterns in your thinking and behavior that you hadn't seen before. You start to see that many of your reactions are simply habits you've developed over time. But you don't have to be defined by those habits. You have the power to change them. You have the power to create new responses, ones that align with your values and your vision for your life. Emotional strength isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about facing every moment with the understanding that you have the ability to control your reaction, even when you can't control the circumstances. This is where true power lies. The ability to choose your response is where your freedom exists. When you begin to understand this, your emotional resilience grows exponentially. Every time you practice emotional awareness, you grow stronger. You become more resilient, more grounded, and more connected to who you truly are. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the tools to handle it. And with every step you take toward mastering your emotions, you build a life of inner peace and emotional freedom. This is how you begin to transform, how you begin to unlock the true power of emotional strength. It's all about choosing to respond rather than react. It's about being present, being aware, and taking control of your emotional landscape. With this power, you can face anything, and you will. True emotional strength is forged through the ability to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that keep others out. They are the invisible lines that protect your energy, your peace, and your sense of self. The moment you learn to establish healthy boundaries, you take back control of your life. You stop letting others dictate your emotions, your time, or your sense of worth. You stop giving away pieces of yourself to things and people that drain you. Instead, you learn to say no when you need to walk away from situations that don't serve you, and to create space for what truly matters. This ability to protect your emotional well-being is what separates the strong from the vulnerable. When you don't have boundaries, you become a passive participant in your own life, letting the whims of others shape your world. But when you set boundaries, you take an active role in your own experience. You become the one who decides what you will and won't tolerate. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. It's acknowledging that your emotional energy is precious and that you deserve to protect it at all costs. Learning to say no, especially to things that don't align with your values, is a key habit of emotional strength. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who knows their worth, who understands that they cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best to the world if you're constantly giving away your energy to things that deplete you. Setting boundaries is about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your peace are sacred. It's about understanding that you can't be everything to everyone, and that's okay. The strength to establish these boundaries comes when you stop seeking approval from others. The fear of disappointing people, of being judged, or of being rejected often holds us back from enforcing the boundaries we know we need. But emotional strength means understanding that you can't please everyone. It's impossible. And when you try, you lose yourself in the process. Learning to trust yourself enough to make decisions based on your own needs, not the expectations of others, is what builds lasting emotional resilience. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying yes to yourself. It's about giving yourself permission to rest, to focus on your goals, and to invest in your own well-being. When you set boundaries, you create space for growth. You create room for the things that matter most, the things that will push you forward in life, the things that nurture your soul and make you feel alive. It's not always easy. There will be moments when you'll feel guilty for saying no. There will be moments when others will push against your boundaries, test your limits, and try to guilt trip you into giving more than you should. But this is where your strength lies. in the ability to stand firm, to protect your peace, and to know that you have the right to prioritize your own needs. You are not responsible for everyone else's happiness. You are responsible for your own. By setting boundaries, you reclaim your power. You stop letting life happen to you and start living intentionally with purpose. Your time, your energy, and your emotions become yours to direct. This creates an unshakable foundation upon which emotional strength can grow. You no longer have to react to life. You can respond from a place of clarity, peace, and confidence, knowing that you are the one in control. And when you consistently set and respect your own boundaries, you begin to see a shift in how others treat you. The people in your life will either respect your boundaries or they will fall away, and that's okay. Because the people who truly value you will honor your strength, and those who don't will no longer have the power to take from you. With every boundary you set, you fortify your emotional strength and you create a life that reflects your worth. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are your teachers, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Emotional strength doesn't come from suppressing what you feel or ignoring the signs your mind and body are sending you. It comes from learning to listen to your emotions, to understand what they are telling you, and to use that knowledge to grow stronger. Every emotion, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable, carries within it a lesson, a message that, if understood, will help you move forward. When you learn to embrace your emotions, to truly sit with them without judgment, you gain something priceless: self-awareness. You stop running from discomfort and start leaning into it. You realize that by allowing yourself to feel deeply, whether it's sadness, fear, joy, or frustration, you give yourself permission to heal and grow. Emotional strength doesn't mean pretending you don't feel hurt or anger or fear. It means acknowledging these feelings and not allowing them to control you. By embracing your emotions, you also stop allowing them to define your actions. You stop reacting out of fear or frustration, and instead, you choose how you will respond. When sadness comes, you allow it to flow through you, not as a weakness, but as a part of your human experience. You understand that emotions are temporary, but your ability to rise above them is what makes you resilient. Each time you allow yourself to feel and then decide to move forward, you strengthen your emotional muscle. You prove to yourself that you have the power to feel deeply and still rise with grace and strength. When you allow yourself to feel, you also give yourself the freedom to let go. You stop holding on to pain from the past, and you stop carrying the weight of future fears. Emotional strength is about releasing the grip of past wounds, not letting them control your present. You learn to let go of what you cannot change, to forgive what has hurt you, and to stop letting your past dictate your future. Every time you choose to release that emotional baggage, you lighten your load and you make space for healing and growth. It's easy to get stuck in old patterns, to keep replaying the same stories in your mind, telling yourself that you're not enough or that you're incapable of change. But emotional strength is about breaking free from those limiting beliefs. It's about recognizing that you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, and you are not the negative stories you've been telling yourself for years. You are someone who is capable of transformation, of growth, and of stepping into your fullest potential. You have the power to rewrite your story, to let go of the narrative that has kept you small, and to create a new, empowering vision of who you are and who you are becoming. The beauty of emotional strength is that it allows you to be fully present in your life. When you stop running from your emotions and start understanding them, you begin to experience the world more deeply. You connect more fully with the people you love. You feel the joy of life more intensely because you no longer let fear or shame hold you back. You open yourself to new possibilities, to new experiences, because you are no longer weighed down by past emotional baggage. Every moment you choose to embrace your emotions is a moment of growth. It's a moment where you prove to yourself that you are more than the sum of your experiences. You are more than your fears, your past pain, your mistakes. You are a force of strength, resilience, and transformation. And as you continue to embrace your emotions, you continue to unlock new levels of emotional power within yourself. The more you feel, the more you heal. The more you heal, the more you rise. Great. I hope the script hits the mark and provides the depth and emotional impact you were looking for. Let me know if you need anything else or want to work on another section. You are not defined by your circumstances, nor by the challenges you face. Emotional strength comes from your ability to take action, even when fear whispers that you're not enough, when doubt creeps in and tries to paralyze you. The strength lies in your ability to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. It's about choosing to act, to show up, to push yourself, even when every part of you wants to retreat. This is where your power resides, within the actions you take, the choices you make in the face of adversity. Each small, intentional action you take is like a brick being laid in the foundation of your emotional strength. It's not the big leaps that create change, it's the daily decisions. It's the choice to get up when you'd rather stay in bed. It's the choice to keep moving when everything inside you is screaming to quit. It's the decision to confront your fears, not by avoiding them, but by moving through them step by step. When you face your fears head on, you no longer let them control your life. Fear will always be present. It's part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to dictate your actions. You can acknowledge it, respect it, and then choose to move forward anyway. It's this act of moving forward despite the fear that builds your emotional strength. Every time you push through a difficult moment, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you realize. And as you keep showing up for yourself, as you keep taking action despite fear and doubt, you will begin to see shifts. Your confidence will grow, not because things are magically easy, but because you've developed the unshakable belief in yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. You'll start to notice how each small success builds upon the last. The more you act, the more evidence you gather that you can indeed rise above any challenge. It's easy to get stuck in your head, to overthink every decision, to wonder if you're making the right choice. But emotional strength comes from trusting your ability to figure things out along the way. You don't need to have everything figured out before you start. You just need to start. The act of moving forward with purpose, even when you feel uncertain, will give you the clarity you need to navigate the path ahead. With each step, you will gain more confidence, more wisdom, and more clarity. The world often tells you that success comes from big dramatic moments, but the truth is, true success is born from the quiet, consistent actions you take every single day. It's in the small steps. It's in the habits that you commit to even when you don't see immediate results. Emotional strength is built through those moments when you don't see the finish line, but you choose to keep going anyway. It's about trusting the process, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goals, your vision, and the person you are becoming. When you act with intention, when you keep moving forward, even in the face of fear, you unlock a power that lies deep within you. You begin to understand that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your experience. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you reinforce the truth that you are capable, strong, and resilient. And with that, your confidence soars, your sense of self-worth deepens, and your belief in your own ability to thrive becomes unshakable. This is the essence of emotional strength, the courage to keep moving forward, to take action despite the obstacles, and to trust yourself through every step of the journey. And as you continue to take action day after day, you will find that nothing can stop you. You are unstoppable. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to cultivate self-compassion. So often, we are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves for every mistake, every shortcoming, every imperfection. But emotional strength doesn't come from beating yourself up. It comes from accepting yourself, flaws and all. It comes from acknowledging that you are human, that you will make mistakes, and that those mistakes do not define you. They are simply part of the journey. When you learn to show compassion to yourself, you stop waiting for external validation. You stop looking for approval from others to feel worthy. You realize that you are enough just as you are. Self-compassion is the foundation of true emotional strength because it allows you to stand tall in the face of failure, disappointment, or regret. Instead of allowing those experiences to crush your spirit, you use them as opportunities for growth. You learn to be kind to yourself in the same way you would be kind to a close friend, offering understanding, encouragement, and support, especially in your weakest moments. This shift in how you treat yourself is transformative. It gives you the permission to fail, to stumble, and to not have everything figured out. When you embrace self-compassion, you begin to understand that your worth is not determined by your mistakes or shortcomings, but by your ability to rise from them. You stop identifying with your failures and start seeing them as temporary setbacks, as valuable lessons that are helping to shape you into the person you are becoming. With self-compassion, you also begin to cultivate patience with yourself. You stop expecting overnight transformation, and instead, you embrace the process. Emotional strength is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting yourself to find them along the way. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love and respect, even when you're struggling, even when you feel lost or uncertain. You are worthy because you are human, and to be human is to be perfectly imperfect. When you practice self-compassion, you also begin to let go of unrealistic expectations. You stop putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect, to do everything right, to always have it together. Instead, you begin to see that life is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every day you are becoming better, stronger, and more aligned with your true self. And every step, no matter how small, is a victory. By showing yourself compassion, you celebrate every little win and accept every setback as part of your growth. This self-compassion isn't just about words or thoughts, it's also reflected in your actions. It's in the way you treat yourself when you're exhausted, when you're frustrated, or when you're feeling overwhelmed. It's about choosing to rest when you need it, to recharge when you're depleted, and to give yourself grace when you slip up. Emotional strength isn't about pushing through every obstacle without feeling or resting. It's about knowing when to push, when to pause, and when to practice kindness to yourself. And as you begin to embody self-compassion, you will notice something incredible happen. You start to show up for yourself more consistently. You stop giving up on your goals when things get tough because you've learned to treat yourself with patience, understanding, and encouragement. You learn to celebrate the effort, not just the outcome, and you begin to see yourself not as someone who has to earn love or success, but as someone who is deserving of it simply because you exist. Self-compassion builds an unshakable foundation for emotional strength. It allows you to face your fears, confront your challenges, and move forward with resilience because you know that no matter what happens, you will never abandon yourself. You will always have your own back. And with that unwavering support, you are unstoppable. You are the sum of your decisions, and each choice you make shapes the path ahead. Emotional strength doesn't come from waiting for life to change. It comes from making conscious decisions to take control, even when the odds are stacked against you. Each moment presents you with an opportunity to choose courage over fear, action over hesitation, and growth over comfort. The power to transform your life lies in your ability to make these decisions with intention, to choose what aligns with the person you're becoming, even if it's uncomfortable or difficult. Every decision you make, no matter how small, adds up. It might feel insignificant in the moment, but the cumulative effect of your daily choices shapes the course of your life. You have the power to decide who you become. You have the power to decide what your life looks like. When you realize this truth, you stop seeing yourself as a passive participant in your own story. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or past mistakes. You step into your power, understanding that the future is created in the now by the decisions you make today. This is where emotional strength is forged, in the moments of decision. When you're faced with a challenge, do you shrink back or step forward? When the pressure rises, do you crumble or rise to meet it? The strength to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear, is rooted in your ability to make decisions that align with your core values, your goals, and your vision for your life. Emotional strength is choosing to keep going when it's easier to quit. It's deciding to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road is hard, even when you can't see the end. The decisions you make, especially when they challenge your comfort zone, are what stretch you, what help you grow. Each time you choose to do something that feels difficult or uncomfortable, you are building resilience. It's in those moments that you discover the strength you never knew you had. Choosing to step into discomfort is where transformation happens. It's the willingness to act despite fear, despite doubt, and despite uncertainty that turns you into someone who can face anything with courage and resolve. When you start to make decisions with intention, you begin to understand that no choice is wasted. Every decision Every step you take, whether you succeed or stumble, is a lesson. It's a lesson in trust, in resilience, in self-awareness. You learn to appreciate the process, knowing that each decision moves you closer to your highest potential. You stop chasing perfection and start embracing progress. Emotional strength isn't about always getting it right. It's about learning, adapting, and continuing to move forward with conviction. As you become more mindful of your decisions, you begin to notice the difference in how you feel. You feel more empowered, more in control because you are actively shaping your life. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your destiny. The more you take responsibility for the choices you make, the more you step into your power. And as you build that inner confidence, the world around you begins to shift. The decisions you make ripple outward, affecting every aspect of your life. You start attracting opportunities that match your new mindset. You begin to feel more aligned with who you truly are. Your confidence strengthens because you are taking charge of your life. And with that, your emotional resilience grows. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn, to evolve, to grow. Every challenge becomes another chance to make a powerful decision that aligns with your future self. When you make intentional choices, your life becomes a reflection of your emotional strength. You stop waiting for things to change. You make the change yourself. You become the person who takes bold steps, who trusts themselves, who makes decisions that honor their highest potential. This is how you unlock your inner power, how you create the life you truly desire. The most powerful way to unlock your emotional strength is by confronting the truths you've been avoiding. We all carry hidden fears, unspoken doubts, and past wounds that we try to bury deep inside. But emotional strength doesn't come from ignoring these things. It comes from facing them head on, from looking at them with honesty and courage, and from choosing to heal them. The moment you stop running from what hurts is the moment you begin to step into your full power. It's easy to get caught up in distractions, to numb the pain, to pretend that everything is fine when it isn't. But the truth is, you can't heal what you won't face. The more you avoid your fears and your wounds, the stronger they become, controlling you from the shadows. But when you choose to face them, to look them in the eye, you take away their power. You realize that they are not as terrifying as they once seemed. They are just pieces of your past, reminders of moments that no longer define you. Confronting your fears doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean you won't feel fear or sadness. It means that you're choosing to take the first step toward freedom. It's in that moment of truth, when you stand face to face with your fears, your insecurities, your past, that you begin to break free from the chains that have held you captive. The pain may be real, but it will not last forever, and through it, you will find your greatest strength. Emotional strength is about giving yourself permission to heal. It's about acknowledging that it's okay to not have all the answers, to not be perfect. It's about understanding that healing is a process, and that process doesn't happen overnight. But every time you choose to face your fears, to look at the things you've been avoiding, you take another step forward on your journey to becoming emotionally unbreakable. When you face your fears, you don't just free yourself from the past, you also give yourself the opportunity to grow. You learn to trust yourself in ways you never have before. You start to understand that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult things get, you have the resilience to rise above it. You realize that you are far stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. It's in the moments of discomfort, when you're forced to face the hard truths, that you discover what you're truly made of. When you stop hiding from your pain and start moving through it, you unlock a power that cannot be taken from you. You begin to see that every fear, every challenge, every moment of doubt is simply an opportunity for growth. You are not defined by what's happened to you. You are defined by how you rise above it. Emotional strength is built on this foundation, the willingness to look at the truth, even when it's difficult, and to keep going, no matter how much it hurts. Each time you confront a fear, you break a barrier. Each time you heal a wound, you become more whole. And with every step you take, you grow more resilient, more capable, more aligned with your true self. By facing the truths that scare you, you transform the very things that have been holding you back. You take your power back from the past and use it to create the future you desire. You stop living in reaction to what's happened to you. and instead, you start living in response to the person you are choosing to become. This is how emotional strength is forged, not by avoiding the hard truths, but by embracing them, understanding them, and using them as stepping stones to your greatness. Your journey toward emotional strength is not just about the actions you take. It's about how you choose to perceive the world around you. The lens through which you view your experiences determines how you react to them. If you view every challenge as an insurmountable obstacle, then that's exactly what it will become. But if you can learn to shift your perspective and see challenges as opportunities for growth, then you unlock an entirely new way of navigating life. Emotional strength isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about changing how you respond to them. Every obstacle you face holds within it a lesson, a chance for growth, but that lesson can only be revealed when you open your mind and heart to it. Life doesn't always go the way we plan, and things won't always be easy. But it's in those moments of discomfort, of struggle, that we truly discover what we're made of. When you shift your perspective and choose to see these moments as opportunities, you stop fearing the challenges. Instead, you begin to welcome them as catalysts for your evolution. You have the power to decide how you react to every situation. The key is not in avoiding difficulties, but in how you choose to approach them. When you see obstacles as opportunities, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop blaming circumstances or other people for your struggles. Instead, you take full ownership of your life. You realize that every challenge is an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This shift in perspective is where emotional strength truly begins. When you stop seeing yourself as powerless in the face of adversity and start seeing yourself as capable of handling whatever comes your way, you break free from the constraints of fear. You stop letting external circumstances dictate your emotional state. Instead, you become the creator of your emotional experience, choosing peace, clarity, and strength, no matter what the world throws at you. You are not powerless in the face of difficulty. You are not at the mercy of life's unpredictability. The truth is that you have everything you need within you to handle whatever comes your way. It's just a matter of shifting your mindset. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities, you shift from a reactive state to a proactive one. You begin to approach each day with purpose, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the power to navigate it with grace and resilience. When you learn to see obstacles as part of the natural flow of life, you stop resisting them. You stop wasting energy trying to avoid discomfort. Instead, you lean into it, knowing that it will pass and that on the other side you will be stronger. You realize that discomfort is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. It is the soil in which your emotional strength grows. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you build the muscle of resilience. You stop shrinking away from challenges and begin to rise to meet them with courage. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a choice you make every day. But with every challenge you face, with every obstacle you overcome, you reinforce this new way of thinking. And with each victory, no matter how small, your emotional strength grows. You begin to see yourself as someone who is not only capable of handling life's challenges, but as someone who is made stronger by them. By changing how you view challenges, you change how you experience life. You stop seeing yourself as the victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the hero of your own story. You stop waiting for the world to be easy and start embracing the strength within you to handle whatever comes your way. This is the power of emotional strength, the ability to transform your perspective and, in doing so, transform your entire life. There's a deep, unwavering truth that you must come to terms with. The power to change your life lies in your daily habits. We often look for big, dramatic transformations, waiting for that one moment when everything will magically shift. But the truth is, emotional strength isn't built in moments of grand revelation. It's built in the small, everyday decisions that you make. It's in the quiet moments of self-discipline, the moments when no one is watching, that you create the foundation for lasting change. Every habit you form, every action you take contributes to the person you are becoming. It's easy to overlook the importance of habits because they seem insignificant. But every small action compounds over time, creating a ripple effect that shapes your life. Emotional strength doesn't come from one bold move, it comes from consistency. It comes from showing up for yourself day after day, even when the results aren't immediate. Every time you choose to take a positive action, to move toward your goals, to practice self-care, you're strengthening your emotional resilience. This is why habits are so powerful. They are the things you do without even thinking. They shape your reality in ways you don't always realize. If you wake up every morning and immediately feel overwhelmed or discouraged, your habit of thinking negatively is undermining your emotional strength. But if you wake up with a mindset of gratitude, of optimism, even on the hardest days, you begin to shift your internal world. Emotional strength is not just about reacting to challenges, it's about building a mindset that can weather any storm. The habits you form every day are the building blocks of that mindset. Every habit, whether it's positive or negative, reinforces your emotional state. If you consistently choose to focus on what you can control, to practice mindfulness, to surround yourself with positivity, you create a mental and emotional environment that supports your growth. These habits don't just change how you feel in the moment, they change who you are becoming over time. Small habits, when practiced consistently, compound into extraordinary results. But it's not just about adding new habits. It's also about eliminating the ones that drain your energy and hold you back. Habits like procrastination, self-doubt, or negative self-talk erode your emotional strength over time. The good news is that you have the power to change them. You don't have to stay stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. It starts with awareness. Recognize the habits that are holding you back and commit to replacing them with habits that align with the person you want to become. Every time you choose a new positive habit, you are actively shaping your future. Emotional strength is cultivated through the habits that support your growth. When you make small, consistent choices to invest in yourself, whether that's through exercise, reading, journaling, or simply taking a moment to breathe and reflect, you are strengthening your resilience. You are creating a life that is aligned with your values, your goals, and your purpose. These habits add up. They don't just change your circumstances, they change you. The beauty of habits is that they don't require massive effort. They only require consistency. You don't have to take giant leaps every day. You just need to take small steps in the right direction. And those small steps, when taken consistently, create powerful momentum that propels you forward. With every habit you build, you're creating a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. You're reinforcing the belief that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you are in control of your destiny. Your emotional strength is a direct reflection of the habits you create. The more intentional you are with your choices, the more aligned your life becomes with the person you're striving to be. Every day is an opportunity to reinforce your strength, to move closer to the best version of yourself. And as you continue to invest in the habits that nurture your mind, body, and spirit, you will find that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. Your inner power grows with every choice, and with every choice, you get closer to becoming the emotionally strong person you're meant to be. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. It's the foundation of every other relationship in your life. When you treat yourself with respect, when you honor your own needs and boundaries, you set the standard for how others should treat you. The way you speak to yourself, the way you care for your body, the way you nurture your mind, it all matters, and it matters more than you realize. When you show up for yourself with love and compassion, you become a magnet for the same energy from the world around you. But if you are constantly critical, self-judging, and neglecting your own needs, you are reinforcing a life of struggle. You can't be emotionally strong if you don't love and care for yourself first. Self-love is not about narcissism or selfishness. It's about knowing your worth and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to someone you deeply care about. When you take the time to invest in yourself, to nourish your mind, body, and soul, you create a foundation of emotional strength that is unshakable. You show yourself that you are worthy of care, respect, and peace, and that sets the tone for everything else in your life. Self-love is not a destination. It is a daily practice. It's about the small actions, the quiet moments when you choose to prioritize your well-being. It's taking a break when you need it, saying no when you need to, and giving yourself permission to rest, to heal, and to grow. It's acknowledging your flaws without shame and embracing them as part of who you are. Emotional strength is rooted in the ability to love yourself in all your imperfection. The more you practice self-love, the stronger your emotional foundation becomes. The world can be a harsh place, and it's easy to internalize the negativity around you. But when you develop a strong sense of self-love, you create a protective barrier that shields you from the outside world's judgments. You stop seeking validation from others because you already have it from within. You don't need approval or external praise to know your value. You recognize that your worth is inherent, that you are enough as you are, and that no external circumstance can take that away from you. When you love yourself, you make choices that support your growth. You stop tolerating situations or people that drain your energy or hold you back. You set boundaries that honor your peace, and you stop apologizing for taking up space. You understand that saying no is sometimes the most powerful act of self-care, and you become unapologetically focused on your own well-being. Self-love also means forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fall short of our own expectations at times. But emotional strength doesn't come from perfection. It comes from resilience, from the ability to learn and grow from every misstep. When you forgive yourself, you release the weight of guilt and shame, allowing yourself to move forward with a lighter heart. Every mistake is an opportunity to evolve. Every failure is a stepping stone toward becoming the person you are meant to be. You must also give yourself permission to feel. Emotional strength is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about allowing yourself to fully experience them without judgment. Whether you are feeling joy, sadness, frustration, or fear, each emotion has value. When you embrace your emotions without trying to push them away, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself. You learn to listen to what your emotions are telling you, and in doing so, you learn to navigate life with a greater sense of clarity and strength. When you truly love yourself, you create the emotional space to face life's challenges head on. You no longer need to prove your worth or seek validation. You become the person you've always been searching for, the one who knows their own value and stands strong in the face of adversity. Self-love is the ultimate act of emotional strength. It is the key to living a life of purpose, passion, and unshakable confidence. Through self-love, you transform not only your relationship with yourself, but also every other relationship in your life. The truth is, you will never become emotionally strong if you continue to live in fear. Fear holds you back from stepping into your potential. It keeps you small, keeps you hiding, keeps you from fully experiencing all that life has to offer. Fear has one primary goal: to keep you safe, to keep you in the comfort zone where nothing changes, and where you remain in the same patterns of behavior and thinking. But emotional strength isn't about staying safe. It's about learning to face your fears and take action in spite of them. When you let fear dictate your decisions, you allow it to control your life. But when you face your fears, you take back your power. Every time you face a fear, whether it's speaking up for yourself, pursuing a new opportunity, or stepping into the unknown, you break the chains that have been holding you back. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought, and in doing so, you become stronger. Fear doesn't disappear just because you want it to. It fades when you refuse to let it control your actions. It's in those moments when you choose courage over comfort that your emotional strength begins to grow. Emotional strength isn't about being fearless. It's about being brave. It's about feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. Each time you take a step toward your fear, you make it smaller, less intimidating. The more you challenge yourself, the more you expand your capacity to handle difficult emotions, and the more you build your resilience. The more you face fear, the more you understand that it doesn't have the power to stop you unless you let it. You learn to trust in yourself, to trust that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. This isn't something that happens overnight. Facing fear requires patience and practice. It requires you to be willing to step into discomfort, to push through moments of doubt and uncertainty. But every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Every time you move past a fear, you expand your emotional capacity. You develop a deeper belief in your own abilities, and you realize that the limits you once thought existed were simply illusions. It's easy to avoid fear, to pretend it doesn't exist, but that only weakens you in the long run. By avoiding fear, you are giving it power over you.